button.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I was wondering, I'm just going to reply to the email that you sent me.
Huh?
I think it'll work with my audit instrument so we can both have it in front of us so I can ask specific questions.
Okay, we can also chat using the chat function.
Oh,
Here, you see it?
yes. Let me see if can I attach a document to it?
You never tried that, I don't know.
See.
You can email me at this address. Hold on a second.
Okay. Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and do that and then,
No problem.
okay. Okay, so I just sent my specific audit.
Okay.
Now I was wondering, so I know from the Zoom session with Kelsey, it helped kind of give me an overall view of what you're looking for.
Okay.
Um, but for mine, I want to make sure that what I'm looking for, because I'm auditing the CSUN Career Center.
Okay.
So I want to see, and I've talked to them pretty generally about what they'd be comfortable with. I didn't ask about bills and stuff like that. I
Uh-huh.
have a feeling that because it is a school.
Yeah, that'll be hard
Okay.
yeah, I wouldn't count on that.
Okay. I'm gonna make note of that.
I mean,
So
you could generally ask them. Let me rephrase that. Actually, I should be clear. It doesn't hurt to ask. Say some other students are looking for things that can help them understand energy use, water use. I understand that you're an office and you have limited, like you're part of a larger system.
mhm.
You may or may not have this, but whatever you have, whatever you think is useful, I'd be happy to look at it.
Okay.
Something.
Yeah, I'm thinking of not making that a central part of what I'm auditing as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
Um, it was more just peripheral questions on that.
Sure.
But so the way I'm planning on doing this is doing it in a couple of visits,
Hmm.
or a few visits. The first one I want to go and just take general note of what's going on. So that would be like the general observation section. And then
Yes.
that way, I mean, I've obviously visited it, but this way, when I'm paying attention, if something else comes up that I want to add to the
Sure.
instrument, I'm going to do that before I have like one-on-one meetings with people.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, kind of a preliminary site visit,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah, with the intent of actually looking. So I'm going to clear with them that I can go in the back and stuff like
okay.
that. Um, because I want to see too, like they have a kitchenette, and I want to see if that's worth auditing because that could probably give more actionable items as well rather than like bill and energy
Sure.
use. So that's kind of the preliminary visit. I kind of want to sort things out.
Yeah.
But overall, I definitely want to do like in office, their energy use, recycling, trash, see like how everything works in the office
Yeah.
just between them. And
Do they
then,
have an office manager? I think,
mhm,
yeah, sometimes that might be the person to talk to because, even
great.
employees who work there or even a manager who's not the office manager
Yeah.
may not know all that information.
Yeah, so I talked to them a little bit too about who would be best to talk to for the different parts of the audit. So I found the assistant director is probably going to be more available and she'll know as much as the director.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk to her about employee have like exactly how many people are employed, how many people are there per day, kind of things like that. And then from in office, I'm going to move to out of office operations because the
Hmm.
Career Center does outreach events.
Oh,
And I
okay.
know after some of those events, they have leftover food, and sometimes it's actually in pretty big quantities. So I think I'm
That's
going to
great.
focus.
The food
Yeah.
focus is really good. A
Yeah,
lot of times students who unless sorry to interrupt you, but
no, it's fine.
I'm trying to interject comments that may be useful to others
Yeah,
also.
definitely.
The when students audit a business that serves food, a restaurant or
Hmm.
fast food takeout, they look at food, but oftentimes food is a part of other non-food businesses.
Hmm.
So I think the fact that you're looking at that is excellent.
Yeah, no, definitely. And in terms of like, because I remember in previous sustainability classes too, we've tracked like whether or not we're meat eaters and stuff like that, and that really weighs into the carbon footprint. So
Oh
I was
yeah.
thinking of looking for that tool specifically that I'd used in the past. And because some of the questions are like, is the food prepackaged? Like, do you have vegetarian options? Do people actually eat them, or is it primarily meat? And just to see what they do with the waste food. That's
Yeah.
the focus I'm taking on that. And then in the out of office events, they also print flyers and things. So again, that goes back to the waste with
Yeah.
regard to paper. And then the last part of it that I was going to do was an employee survey. And
Okay.
this is to focus on transportation.
Okay. Oh, very
So
nice. Okay.
yeah, and some in-office culture just to see like how aware the career center is of sustainability issues.
Yeah.
Because I worked on campus my freshman year and like recycling and stuff was not talked about. We just threw things away. So I want to see if the career center has that same sort of culture or if they're a little more in tune with the sustainability movements on
Yeah. That's excellent. I think because Cal State Northridge and the Cal State system in general is making such a push towards becoming, quote unquote green. And of course,
Mhm,
what green means is somewhat ambiguous sometimes also,
mhm.
but nonetheless, it's like a direct, we're heading in that direction. Okay. And
Yes.
so I think you can gently remind them of that mission.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. And definitely because obviously in the sustainability center, that's at the forefront of everything that they
Sure.
do.
Yeah,
But with the career center, sometimes efficiency has that trade-off with sustainability.
exactly.
So I wanted to focus on that as well, just like general attitudes toward like convenience versus sustainability
Exactly. No, that's
wherever they're
excellent.
going.
I think one of the things that folks sometimes, all of us, we forget is that, what's that saying? Perfection should not be the enemy of like what is possible or what you should do. And I think
Sure.
any movement, I'm not sure if that's a saying, but
Yeah,
any
no, I
movement in
get
the
it.
right direction,
Hmm.
I think is positive. And
Hmm.
whether it's you or the other students in this class, I think it's very important to emphasize that we're not here like, oh, you messed up, that
Hmm.
kind of angle. What we
Sure.
are here to do is help you
Hmm.
in whatever way you're willing to be helped.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that's
And
it.
yeah, and I think because with a campus organization, auditing them, there's not much that would be in their control as an office, but I know that campus orgs have the option of ordering from like Staples Green or regular Staples. So
Yeah.
I want to see if they account for that in the budget. If not, if it's doable, if they don't account for it. But
They may
I'm
not even
not
be aware of that. The fact that you're asking a
exactly.
question may be educational in and of
Yeah.
itself.
Um, But obviously, like, I'm not gonna shift, like, entire operations with them just because a
No.
lot of it is written in, but okay, that's
Yeah.
kinda what I
And you
wanted.
can't. I mean, even if you were the office manager to shift those things sometimes, if you're part of a large bureaucracy like Cal State Northridge, it's difficult to do that.
Right.
But you can do smaller things
Mhm,
within the limitations of what you're allowed to do. And I think that's in the end, I think I mean I kind of went through your document really quickly here. It's very comprehensive. It's more usually than what students do. So, which is excellent.
mhm.
You'll leave them with something that is they can refer back to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm big on too getting statistics too, just so they can have things to refer to with their
Yeah.
current employee to see if there's any progress in terms of maybe I'll give another survey at the end if
Yeah.
they're willing and see if anything has changed just mentally as well. But yeah, just because it is part of CSUN, I know there's not huge shifts going to be taking place, but these are just more little things they can focus on.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely excellent.
Okay,
And
perfect.
I like the fact that you are, and this is for the other students that'll listen to this also, I hopefully, is that, and this is what I tried to emphasize in the last Zoom thing that I did was that again, you can try to do everything in the kitchen sink, but that's not always useful. It's better to say, okay, based on what type of business this is, what information they're willing to share,
Mhm,
my time limitations, fact that you're focusing on specific things as opposed to like,
mhm.
no, I need to see your electricity bill no matter what.
Yeah.
That's yeah, it's not helpful, and
Right.
it's not useful for you either because you want to do something that's doable in the confines
Yeah.
of the time you have.
And I'm trying to find stuff that will make good statistics, but also
Yeah,
can be put into a lot of those online calculators just to get a sense. Like if I were to take one employee and
sure.
kind of look at their carbon footprint, or if I have time to average out what everybody's commuting habits are.
Yeah, yeah. It's That's the interesting thing is that I mean, numbers are very telling sometimes, and sometimes they are more telling in ways that we ourselves don't anticipate because we think we're. And this is a little bit off the topic, but it illustrates the point. I was reading a study recently about food consumption, and it was talking about, why are there such trends towards overweight and obesity in the last 20, 30 years? And this study takes a novel approach at it because most studies of food consumption ask people, how much did you eat? What did you eat?
Yeah.
And it's notoriously unreliable because people will tend to underreport number of Oreos or how much beer they drank, and they'll overreport broccoli, right? So this one actually randomly assigned people, they matched food, they took very strict controls basically to ensure that you are eating exactly what we are putting in front of you and nothing else to kind of gauge. That was independent variable. So I think it's very useful to sometimes put numbers to these kinds of things.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it helps rank and quantify what's going on.
Right. But often people also, the flip side to that is people will take numbers and say, oh my gosh, you're only 32% blah, 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 fill in the blank, or you are, and that itself, the value judgments often assigned to numbers can be detrimental in some cases also.
Definitely.
So it's kind of it's a balancing act, right? But I like that. I like the fact that you are, in the end, I think whether it's your survey or other students, is to do whatever you're doing to do it well, as opposed to try to do everything.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And I noticed that in the last Zoom session, that kind of helped me to zone in on what exactly I wanted to do. But
because your plan is, I mean, it is ambitious. I will say that it is.
Yeah.
So you just be aware, like for my purposes, even if you did 50% of this or 60, 70, you'd be great. But if you want to,
I might go in, see what they're comfortable with, eliminate some stuff, depending on like energy use, building type, and maybe focus more on employee behavior rather than like structural sustainability issues.
Well, and the thing is that, I mean, what I always tell students is that sometimes you end up doing way more than is even necessary for a class, but if you're truly interested in this, it becomes the foundation for something else, right? Like it can be part of your senior project. You can submit this. Look, this is what I did for graduate school for an employer. If you're starting a consulting business. Some of these things, this is a very practical thing, and when you execute it, you'll learn a lot of lessons about yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, and time limitations, of course.
Time limitations, exactly.
Okay. Well, perfect. That helps put things in perspective. So I might take another look at it before I submit tonight, just to make sure everything.
No, it's good.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much for your help.
And thank you for your questions and willingness to share this. I think this will be useful for
definitely.
other folks as well.
Yeah, Kelsey's helped me, so hopefully this.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelsey.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.